My name is Ed Selly. I'm one of the independent reviewers for Sound Advice, and this is a quick video overview of the Technics SL-1300G turntable. I've been told to go faster than I did in the recent project video, so there's a lot to cover and not a lot of time to cover it in. The 1300G is a combination of features that we saw in the 1200GR2, for the review for which is already on the site, chiefly of which is the Delta Sigma drive system, which uses a pulse width modulation circuit, try saying that 10 times quickly, to power the motor that rotates this platter. Now this platter is much more substantial than the one on the GR2, and the key there is the fact that this is a G and not a GR turntable. So G series devices have this phenomenal brass topped monster platter which does feel absolutely fantastic. However, this is not exactly the same as the 1200G turntable, which has been on sale for some years. For starters, I can lift this one with only some mild straining, which I really would struggle to do with a 1200G. It's a beefy bit of kit, and it would be ridiculous to say it isn't well made, but isn't quite as substantial as a 1200G. Also, this arm is an aluminium example. It's basically the same one that we saw on the 1200GR2. The 1200G uses a magnesium example, which is a bit racier. The same basic principles apply though. It's S-shaped, there's a detachable head shell, which is good news because I'm not enormously fond of the head shell that Technics supplies, although many people have said it's absolutely fine and I'm just whinging, so your mileage may vary. Otherwise, it is simplified over the 1200 models. The key difference is that this platter no longer has any strobing to check speed, and there's no queuing light because Technics assumes that there will be enough light in your listening room for you to not require one, as opposed to being hunkered over it in a club. There's also no pitch control, but there are still 3 speeds, 33 and 45 on buttons. Press them both together and you get 78 RPM. So that's very useful if you have an extended collection. There is also a black version. Recently, Technics has switched their black devices so that as well as the turntable being black and this bit staying black, the arm is black as well, and I think it looks a bit oppressive. In the old days, it used to be that the arm stayed silver, and I thought that looked quite a bit better. So I would say, even if you have black equipment, the silver unit is the better looking of the two, but you do have the choice if you want it. There is also a lid, but to make this easier to shoot and I'm not peering over the top of it, the lid has been removed, but you do get one as standard, and very useful that is too. Sonically, this is a very good turntable. We weren't really expecting anything less. It's ridiculous when you view it from a sort of cold and dispassionate way to think how much difference the means of making this platter spin has on the performance of a turntable, but you've got to bear in mind it's the only point in the entire process where electricity actually reaches the device. All of this is entirely passive. The Delta Sigma drive results in there still being utterly phenomenal pitch stability. Nothing gets close to how these products actually sound in the real world. If you have written off vinyl because of any sort of fractional wow or flutter in speed consistency, you need to start looking and just go for these basically. But where that used to come with a slightly sort of dark and over sort of powerful sound when it came to playing more gentle music, Delta Sigma really has gone a long way to avoiding that. There are times when I've been listening to this with music that really doesn't require it to be bombastic or overly potent, and it really is a genuinely pleasurable thing to listen to. The catch is that almost all of these statements apply equally to the 1200GR2, and that's over £1,000 less. This is a nicer turntable. It does sound fractionally better. This platter does make a significant difference in its own right. My frustration with this product is that it could have been a bit better if more of the components from the 1200G had made the journey over, and I would have accepted a slightly higher price for it as a result of that. Nevertheless, if you are looking for a turntable at the £3,000 price point, and while the 1300G costs less than £3,000 as is, it doesn't come with a cartridge, so you'd need to budget for one of those for it to work. It's an extremely confident offering, and you would be foolish to discount it. The only catch being, I would suggest, if you have the means to do so, if you are going to listen to a Technics Direct turntable and you have this one in mind, do get a listen to a 1200GR2 first, because you might find that that's all the Technics that you ever need. However, on balance, this is still a fine choice and it is well worth checking out, and I also cannot wait to see what Technics does next. If you've enjoyed this short overview, thank you very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again soon.